Hello, it is Friday the 5th of June and I am out walking my dog in a high vis and talking about education. Now, for those of you who may not know, because it is June and if you're a principal, you will probably have 101 other things going on right now, but an email will have landed in your inbox telling you that your primary school survey results are out. This is, it's kind of interesting to me. Well, everything is interesting to me about this primary school survey, and publishing the results on one of the busiest weeks in the education calendar, in the school education calendar, with the panels being published probably today, and being told that we're publishing today about 3 or 4 SNA circulars and up-to-date new plans for the role of the SNA, on top of the general madness of June. I don't believe the primary school survey is going to be high on any principal's list, and I would suggest that publishing it at this time of the year in some way adds to the whole conspiratorial theory that some might accuse me of the government having no interest whatsoever in any changes happening to our education system to make it human rights based for the very many families in Ireland who have to, I guess, be taught through the ethos that permeates throughout the school day, one that does not align with their own conscience. However, the principals who are interested in this, you can find your results by going to your EasyNet platform, by clicking on the school's data collection link, and then going to documents, and there you will find 4 letters, 2 in English, 2 in Irish, and then another document which is your results. This will tell you what percentage of your parents wish for a denominational or non-denominational or not denominational education, co-ed or single sex, and Gaelscoil or non-Gaelscoil. And it also will give you another graph, which is all the preschool parents survey, which is there. And then it is up to you as the principal to share this with your school community. I have tons of questions around all of this, most of which I will probably put into a post on my Substack channel. But I mean, the big thing for me is how this is all being designed. The release of the data has been designed as sensitive data. So I put in a freedom of information request, as did many people, to get the release of the data. All of those requests have been refused, despite the fact that the data exists. It is now, every school in the country now has individualised parental preferences for how their school is going. It is still being treated as sensitive data. I can imagine if, as I imagine people will do today, they will send a freedom of information request to get all of that data now. I think it will be refused because they will claim it will may impinge on a reconfiguration process. That is often the way. So I'm not sure if anything is really going to happen. So let me put you in the position of a principal who receives this data, and let's just make up some figures here. Let's say a school gets their figures and it says single sex, it's a single sex Catholic school, let's say that. So what I would suggest is it's possible that they will get, parents will say co-ed 60%, even though it's a single sex school, and it might say 60% wants to be not denominational, so they don't want it to keep its denominational aspect. And then for the Gaels, Irish, also 60%, even though it's an English medium school. Now, what principal in their right mind is going to look at that data and say, yes, we'll change because 60% of our parents, all of a sudden that 60% becomes a slight majority. I love how when these things, when percentages come out, how they're described. And I would say 60% is not a significant majority in any case. However, the figure has been used by those defending the denominational sector as the 60% of parents, as the vast majority of parents wish to keep the structures. But if your school happens to be 60% want change, that, I would imagine, no longer becomes the vast majority. So what will you do? But I mean, as a principal, I wouldn't take that on. Like, why would a single person take something like that on? This is not a decision for a principal to make. It is too emotive. I mean, the one thing I will say that they're correct on is they've designed it in such a way that the data is considered so sensitive. So why would it not be a really sensitive situation for principals to deal with? It just seems mad. I mean, to me, it's premeditated to ensure that absolutely nothing happens. Even releasing it in June, in the middle of the craziest part of the year, it ensures that this is not going to be a high priority. It's really, really interesting to me, the initial reaction to it. It's been published, for over 12 hours at this stage. And when the SNA stuff came out, there was a lot of chatter about it on the internet. I have not seen a single bit of chatter about this. I think it's very low on the school's radars. I don't think they care very much. They're just trying to run their school as best as they can. And honestly, I don't know. I mean, the only thing that's going to make a shift here is if the data becomes public, because the only way anything's going to change is if we have publicly available information about, I suppose, what society wants, and then we work towards a system where we try and bring the education system to an equality-based one, where every school serves every child, not just the majority. This is something I feel really strongly about and argue for all the time. I still find it incomprehensible that people don't believe in a system where a school will strive to ensure that every child is treated with the same level of respect. It's very easy, even watching the videos that they on the Department of Education's website, you can see the language that's used. There's a want to be inclusive, and it's very easy to say it. It was just very interesting. Just if you have a few minutes to watch one of the videos, it's from a Catholic school. They don't just say inclusive; they say very inclusive. And when I hear very inclusive, I always wonder about the word very. Why do you need it? What are you hiding? I guess because we know full well that it's not the case. But look, that's a bit of a rant with very little coherence, and maybe there's some thoughts within it that might be of interest to you. I guess I'll probably be talking about this a good bit. However, it is time for the weekend, and if people are willing to share their results, even anonymously, I'd love to see them. I'd love to hear your thoughts on them. And I don't know. I don't really know what we're going to do. I mean, my belief is nothing much is going to happen. I'd say single-sex schools, a lot of them will change co-ed, but short of that, I don't see anything else.